morning guys. So welcome back again. So I'm just trying to work out where it kind of was Friday. I think I just not long switched panels, like front fenders, because looks like I've sort of started sanding. Maybe a couple, sort of 5-10 minutes into it, blocking out, getting the body fully knocked back on this. But I think the plan is for today, because I think I can go get a, can't borrow the bed rollers because the shafts are different sizes, but the guy that's done all the sandblasting, he's got a bed roll with a heap of frickin' dies on it that he imported from the States, but it's only like a 5/8mm shaft, but he's got a whole heap. He's got even up to an inch bead roll. I have to have a look, but I think we can work out and get a something to work for this, whether I make some short pieces and weld it in, or whether I can bead roll it into it, I'm not sure. We'll take one of the old bits, a couple of offcuts, we'll do a couple of little test passes, work out what we're going to do, work out where, I'm not sure if he's got a 3/4, but he's definitely got an inch bead, like dies. So we'll work something out. I'd rather it be slightly big than too small. So we'll work something out in there. I think I might take them there. Just before lunch or just after lunch, we worked it out at that time. I think what I might do is lay out the doors, because I think by the time I finish blocking this stuff back, it's only going to be a little bit here and there to just fill what I've missed. I think by the time I finish sanding out this 2 lots of stuff, apart from maybe a little bit of top, but this one's pretty good. There's not much damage in this one at all. But apart from maybe the odd little bit on the top, maybe the odd little bit on the top and that, there's going to be the odd little fill, but I don't think there's not going to be any major filling, I don't think, from now on. It'll just be little sections. So I think that's what I'll do, is I'll get myself cleaned up here, lay all those doors out, give them all a spread of mud, and then come back, finish sanding these and reapply where needed, and then I can jump over there and start blocking them out, and then come back to these, because that'll give these times a reasonable amount of time to cure, and me finishing these will give them a bit of time to cure, so I can start getting some other panels blocked out. So I've got the balances done. These are, say, 2/3-ish sorted. I think by the end of today I should have these pretty much done, and then we can be part way through the first lots or whatever of body throw on the doors and get them blocked out. I think the front doors won't need bug all. I know there's a few little marks in them, but it's not going to take a lot. They're not really in the shape that this vehicle's in far better metal shape within reason than that was within reason. There's places, where it's probably just as bad, but it's not quite as beaten as what that was, especially the fenders. So yeah, I think we should be able to get the doors well and truly started, maybe through the first blocking on them, and hopefully get these, sort of the last little bit. Anyway, I'll stop talking, I'll get this done, and I'll lay the doors out and we'll go from there. Right, I've mudded these two. I probably need to put a little bit more in just a couple little spots, maybe just where the damage was. There's a couple little marks I think I missed in this one. Yeah, there's a couple of bits around this door handle area. I think I got the bulk of it. Most of the damage is in here, and there was a little bit up here, and obviously a piece on each end. So yeah, I've got a few little marks to do on there once I mix up some body filler. I think this one's pretty good. I think I got most of it. We'll find out when we block her off. But these front ones are pretty good. Like there's one wee spot there. I got to put a wee bit of mud in. I think that's probably the worst of it on that door. It might be the odd mark, but maybe needed a little bit across just the bottom where there's some, probably more just pitting than anything. I could probably get that with high build, almost. Just trying to get a good look, because I don't really want to mix up a whole heap and then not need it at all. So yeah, I only need a little bit in that door. If I'm going to do that, I might just, it probably just needs a patch about that big, because I can feel actually might need a bit whole, might just have to skim that edge. It feels like it's got a bit of a lump in there. So there I might actually have to come along, hammer and dolly that a little bit. I might have to hammer and dolly the edge a little bit. I can feel the high spot there. I've missed. And this door is kind of the same. It's got a little bit of damage there. It's pretty good. So I don't need to mix up bugger or more. I might just hammer and dolly that edge before I do put anything in, so I can get it better. But yeah, I only need a little bit for those two doors, which is absolutely awesome. I think the majority you would probably get with, if there is anything, you get it mainly with high build. We'll scrape a couple a little bit. That's just to help fill any little, like just some of the slightly worse marks, but probably just about to do it with glazing putty, to be honest, which I've got now. Wee bit of a, yeah, it's only really that one dent in this door. I might do it with glazing putty, to be honest. And I can probably, a couple little marks that I've got left in here, I just didn't have enough filler for. What to do with glazing putty as well. Yes, I actually got some glazing putty the other day because my other stuff went off. And it's, again, it's actually the Outlaw brand. I didn't actually realise there was so much of it over here. Like Arco got me onto the brand, and then when I went to these new guys for paint and stuff, they had all this Outlaw stuff. So that's pretty cool, actually. I actually quite like the body filler. It's good, definitely good. You know, like I'd quite happily use Rage Gold or something like that again, but I think this is probably it's good, if not better. I would definitely use the Rage Gold, or I think there's Rage Gold Plus, or there's a couple other products that are like above it. I think they're pretty good. The Z grip's okay. It's okay. I think I would steer away from it if I had a choice. But apart from that, I could almost spread that too, but I think I might just wait. I think I'll get these other ones finished. God, these are almost barely worth putting anything in. Like they do need like a little bit of something. But yeah, I think I'll do a little bit of hammer and dolly on that edge. And we'll mix up some glazing putty at some stage. I'm almost half tempted to just sit these back aside and just prime them. And then put a little bit of glazing putty in afterwards. Maybe after I've, like it's going to need something there anyway. Yeah, just get that edge a bit better. And then, yeah, maybe just glazing putty after. Prime it and block it a wee bit. Work out where any other little marks are, and then just put a little bit of that filler in it. Yeah, I think I might do that. But I don't think it's worth mixing up much. I suppose I could put a little bit in there. That has got a wee bit of a dent in it. Everything else actually feels alright. From what I can feel. Like there's a little bit of marking there on the bottom of that door from like pitting, but again, high build and a little bit of that stuff if needed. Yeah, that's cool. I actually thought there was a little bit more damage on those, but there's hardly anything. They're really, really straight, which is freaking good. Right, I might just carry on sanding. Right, we're still actually at this one. I've just finished blocking this back after body filling those and whatever. I actually took this off here for a minute, and I noticed I was just comparing these things here. This is the headlight brackets. Just putting it on that one and then putting it on this one and just comparing notes. Because I actually thought I had this a wee bit full, but I actually found where this bolts on, which you can see the dimples of it. We'll clear those holes later. This was actually twisted, so I lay it on its flat on this wooden table, and it was actually I think it was okay here, but I hammered it along this edge on the steel on the bracing and behind, and straightened it out a bit. And I actually let that bolt go, and I just twisted the fin around a bit, it had like a hump in it. It's still got a little bit of a hump in it, so I just spread a bit more mud through there to try and even it out a little bit. It's not going to be dead perfect, but hopefully we can hide the rest of the discrepancy in it. It's not that bad now. Like, I've straightened it out. It had quite a twist, and I didn't really realise it until I was like comparing the two, just making sure working out where these fit and what was seen, for down here and stuff like that, just because I knew it was a wee bit funny. And then I realised that this one here was twisted and that one wasn't, so it's obviously had a bit of a, I don't know whether it's had a tweak at some stage or what, but yeah, so yeah, we straightened that out, which brought this side up and that side down a little bit, just sort of, so yeah, I've just put a little bit extra mud in there to try and fill the worst of the discrepancy, and we'll try and make it a bit nicer. It'll end up a little bit thick in there in places, but it still won't be that bad. So yeah, I've just re-mudded where it needed. There was a couple of spots through here, it was a wee bit low still, and there was a few marks in here and whatever. So we just re-mudded it, and it was still a bit funny in around this corner. A couple of small spots in other places, a little bit around the edges of this. I've noticed there's just a wee freaking funny little dent ripple in there. So I put a little bit of mud on there to try and knock off and just see how that comes up. And I've blocked these edges out, so I'll just put a little bit more fill in there, just where it was low. Just scraped a thin scrape through most of it, if you know what I mean, where it sort of looked like it was needed. So yeah, and now I'm about to just go over to these other ones. So I actually pick that pen up. I've marked on here where my bead, that's partly what I was working out too, just where all this sat, to put that bead roll in. I haven't sanded that at all, obviously. I was hoping to by now, but just mucking around trying to work that other tweak out in it. So yeah, I'm about to block these down and see how these come up, and yeah, it feels pretty good. I wasn't much back, it wasn't too sticky on top. So yeah, we might knock this down. She might grab the DA and just whip over the top of it, just in case it is a wee bit gummy on top or anything. And yeah, we'll block these two pieces out, at least we'll see what they're like, and yeah, we'll go from there. Alrighty, so I got the first door knocked back, probably as far as I think I need to go. But we got obviously a few spots where we need more. And to be honest, I don't know if it needs a whole lot more. That's right. Really, it needs a bit through here. This is high. I've tapped it down a little bit with a hammer. This corner was a wee bit kicked up, so I'll knock this down a little bit before I finish blocking. Obviously this is reasonable close to through here. It needs obviously another scrape through, maybe another little bit out here, just for the transition. As you can see, it's really feathered nice, but some of these spots aren't. And you can see where it's really shiny, but where still the grey is. So it obviously needs more through here, and a bit more through here, maybe a touch up through here, and obviously these pieces here, and a wee bit maybe along the edge. I'm hoping that might block off now that I've tapped that down a little bit. Hopefully that might feather out a bit better to this edge. So that I've got to lift the edge a little bit. Yeah, that should be okay. I haven't touched up here because I've had the clamps on here to hold it tight. I just wanted to get the initial work out where we were, obviously work out what we need. So we need a bit more through here, you know, in these places, and a bit more through here. So it doesn't need a whole heap more. I was hoping I could block a bit more out of it, but it's not terribly thick. We got about 1/16 on there in the worst. You know, but they were fairly, you know, knocked around here. They were quite bent and twisted. I can't remember which one's which. I think this is the one I that's the one that had the big hole in it already. So that was one that was basically panel beaded. I did a little bit extra on it, bugger all. And that was the one that I cut the holes in the back of and panel beaded. So it'll be interesting to see how that one comes out compared with this one. But yeah, it needs a little bit more, obviously, it's a wee bit out of shape. It needs a wee bit more through here to just flatten it off. I might better just hit these down a little bit lower so get that thickness down a little bit. But it's not going to be terribly thick. And then a few coats of high building should bring it up. And obviously we'll have to get a dial this edge in a little bit with a little bit of mud or glazing putty here or there, once we sort of get into it a wee bit. But that's cool. So I'll just have to check the time. If I'm low on time, I might just scrape a bit more filler in here, and then we'll take this one after lunch. But yeah, it shouldn't take too much to bring these up. It should be a fairly quick job each door. You know, there's obviously those front ones, basically, I'm hoping to do them with just high build and a little bit of glazing putty. Yeah, this crystal glaze from Outlaw. That'll be interesting to see what it's like. just going to carry on sanding. There's going to be a lot of sanding the next few days. I'm hoping if I can get some of these knocked out and they look pretty reasonable, as long as I don't have to put too much more body filler in, I'm hoping maybe before the end of the day we'll just see how things pan out. If I can get 3 or 4 of these, if I can get 2 or 3 or more of these panels sorted and ready for primer, because I've already got those side balances sorted, I might have a bit of a sort out in here and lay a few out for high build. I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do there, how much I want to put on for a start off. But anyway, we'll see how things go. Hopefully I can get these things good enough that when we block it out for the first time, we're pretty close. I'm hoping, I'm really fucking hoping. Hopefully I don't have to have any headaches and chasing anything too much, because I just don't have the time for it, unfortunately. Now, we'll get into it. I won't talk too much more. I'll briefly come back and it'll be a hell of a montage of just me sanding, probably like the last bit of the clip from yesterday. I think I had about 4 hours of sanding that I jammed into a few minutes. I might shorten it up a bit yet on the editing, but I think I had about 4 hours of sanding. I just ordered some more body filler in that before, and I forgot that I've only got one body spray left. After a while they split. I had a 1 wide one, which I think might be 4 inch, and this one might be 3 inch or something like that wide. Yeah, and I split the other one the other day. When I did the Studebaker, I started off with probably 3 or 4 of each. They don't last terribly long. They seem to be okay, but yeah, after a wee while they split, but they're only like a couple of dollars for like 5 each. So I just got another 10 of each. So yeah, I just forgot that I hadn't frickin', because I got another can of body filler, and I got another pack of the what they call wash primer, which is basically an each, 2-pack each. So I still need to do that body. And some other small little bits and pieces, like I'll have to give this a quick, we'll give this a quick clean off, sandblast and whatever, and then in the cabinet, that's actually something I need to do too, is get some sandblast and sand and throw in the cabinet. So yeah, I'll give these a quick sandblast off in each of them and just paint them pretty much, quick coat of primer and then paint them. There's a few little bits and pieces like that I'll have to do, but yeah, so I've got these little pieces here too. So we've got these two, like they need a bloody good clean, but I don't think there's any body work to do on them. They'll be pretty much just a clean, a sandblast, and a couple of coats of primer, like rub back and blow them black, Like there's a few bits and pieces each. A lot of the stuff is actually in reasonable nick. It's not too rotten or anything. And we could just basically clean them up and paint them. So there's a few little bits and pieces like that I'll have to do. Yeah. We'll keep sanding and then we'll let it spread a little bit. I've actually pretty much got this. A couple of little low spots and I've hammered in a few slightly high spots here. So I just put a little bit more mud through here just to blend that out. I think I've taken down some of these too, so I'll just put another wee scrape through here. Hopefully blend it out. We're getting close. Finally going to get this stuff to sand up nice. We'll put a little bit in here and a little bit out here where it's low, but I can probably sand a bit more off here yet. I can probably get the thickness off a bit yet down through here, so we might get rid of the bulk of it. We'll see when we get through to some steel here somewhere. Somewhere in this sort of region, when we get down to some steel, we'll stop. So we might get a bit of height off it yet. It won't be terribly thick, we're probably down to yeah, it might be. A bit over an 1/8 of an inch thick there at the moment, in places. Which is not ideal, it's not quite what I would like to be, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's a little bit, but sometimes you get a shitty spot where just can't, not much you can do with it. Like I have to pull all that in a brace off to panel wet it properly. And I don't want to do that. So yeah, I think by the time we get the bulk of it down, it actually won't be that bad. So I think I've actually struck it out okay. There's a couple of low spots in it, but should be right. I'll keep sanding. I'm just going to change some paper over the box. That frickin' red shit is just garbage, but I'm trying to use it because it's proper sticky back. I use it. It loses all its edge so fast. It's not too bad when it's just fresh, but it only lasts a few minutes and then it loses all its edge. It's garbage, but it's quite good to just use for a couple of minutes and then heat up, and that leaves a glue residue on the block, and then the standard old 3M paper sticks. I wish I could find some rolls of 3M sticky back easy without paying stupid money for it again. Or something else that was good. I'd love some. Just so I've got some to put on these credit blocks and these blocks. But we'll get it. At some point I'll find it. We'll keep going. Righty, so I've just basically knocked that all down, mixed up a bit of that Robolo glazing putty, crystal glaze. So yeah, this is the first time I've used it. Seems to mix and spread okay. Obviously the proof will be in the sanding. But yeah, so we'll give that a few minutes. So I'm going to go probably over and sand the doors, or sand a door. Leave this alone, and then because what I want to do is, I think I'm so close with this one, I think we'll just knock the putty off, see where we're at, and then do a reassess, and just, yeah, go from there. I might even, I don't want to do any major sanding on it now, but I may just, once I sort of got the putty knocked back pretty close, I might just do a quick mist of a little bit of that etch, and just give it a wee rub out, and just make sure there's no major other funny spots, I guess, and we'll see where we're at from there, because it is a bit weird through here. It's just what it is. I think I've got it reasonable now, but yeah, I think we can just mist a wee bit of something on it, just give it a rub through, just make sure there's no major highs or lows or anything like that, and then we can obviously, if I'm happy, we can set it aside for some, like I said, probably a light coat and then 2 heavy coats of high build. I think that's what I want to do for a start. Just that'll give me a good assessment, and then I can really see if there's any other highs and lows in it, and just assess from there, see what we need to do to pull it up, whether it's just another couple of coats of primer, or whether it actually needs some sort of like glazing putty or whatever, or we just smash it with another couple of coats of high build. The biggest problem is I'm low on funds on this car for this job. I don't want to overspend, and I've only got 8 litres of high build, so I've got to be careful that I don't screw myself up. So that's why I think I'm going to do a light coat and then 2 heavy coats around all these panels, and then we'll assess the whole car from there. I think I'll get it all on primer. I'm going to try and restrain myself from blocking it out, and then we'll block the whole lot out, and we'll assess where we need to go from there, so I don't run out of high build. It should be plenty, but I think I ended up using almost 12 litres on that thing, 3 gallons basically, just because it was pretty rough, within reason, you know what I mean, because some of it I had to go back over a couple of times, like we ended up painting those front guards 3 times, just to get them to where they were. I think we got them pretty good, and then I misted them and satin black wet sanded them out to try and really pick up where there was any issues, because I knew that they were really close, but it's like one of those things, I was sort of, because they were so bad for a start off, I really wanted to colour sand them out, like really heavily, pull it back, so I could get a really good idea of where there was any issues, and then we painted them, and then I had the frickin' spray gun going to issues, and I ended up with a couple of runs of them, so we wet sanded them out again, and then sprayed them again, and yeah. So yeah, hopefully I don't have all those problems. I got that nice new gun for the colour, so hopefully we don't have any frickin' issues like we did with that, because I just don't have the product. I've probably got enough paint, but yeah, I don't have the time to spend on it. It's a bit of a curse. But anyway, I think we'll get there. So I'll go sand some doors now, and might leave the phone. I might set the phone up over there, filming, and once we've knocked back one of those doors, we'll come back over here and we'll have an assess of this. Because when I've knocked back one of those doors, we should be pretty close too, so we should have hopefully 4 or 5 panels before the end of the day ready to prime, so that'll be awesome. Right, so I'm getting through this. Just gonna keep smashing through this. Mrs. just bought me some more stuff back. I'll just briefly go through it. So I've got more of that wash primer, which is the etch. I mainly need it for the body. It's partly my fault because I screwed up when I started mixing this. Originally, I started mixing it 2 to 1, 2 parts that to 1 part that, which screwed me up. I misread. I think I got myself confused between reading the instruction on that to the instructions on the paint. I got it in my head and then I screwed up, but because there's quite a bit of activator in that, but there's only a little bit of the etch primer in there. So I got another lot of that. Got a few more stripper discs so I can just run over that body. Like I'm not going to need them all, but I got them here, and I'll better use them on some of the smaller bits. I got on my little spreaders and another tin of Robbie Low Maxi Fill. So that's cool. At least I've got all that stuff now. I need it. So yeah, we'll run over the body before we get ready to start spreading mud on that with those Scotch Brights and a few other little bits and pieces we'll have to clean up and paint. I'm not quite sure what I'll do with the tank. I might just run over that too. I don't know whether I'm going to paint it or not, but I've still got like that spare wheel bracket. There's a few little bits and pieces like that. I've got to strip that off and get some silver paint with that too at some point. Not quite sure what I'm going to do there either, but we're getting there. That's what the people don't realise. We've still got frickin' headlights to try and strip and paint. The stanchions for the frickin' windscreen and the dash, and yeah, I don't know. It's like people just don't realise what it takes to frickin' clean this shit up. But you kind of just do what you can do. We'll go through it and we'll just try and get the bulk of it cleaned up. I'll still have to strip the wheels off and paint them. Yeah, people got no frickin' clue, eh? Drives you nuts. They think it's costs, frickin' whatever to do a paint job, but these are a bit more complex than in a modern car. You just 9 times out of 10 you round the jams and spray it and whatever. But these are, I wouldn't say they're more complicated, but it's just you're kind of doing different things, and there's so many other little metal pieces to paint. And 9 times out of 10, like if you're painting something like this, or like a modern car, you just round the outside of it and flicking around the jams, and you're done. But this is a different level. But anyway, we'll keep going. I think that'll do for that one in the meantime. We'll go over and do the front fender again, knock that stuff off, Mrs. is going to bring me lunch today. I'm just going to keep working. I'll have to do that all week. Just to get an extra few hours in, and I might even have to come down here at night to try and, I want to try and get this whole thing in body filler, the whole thing, if I can this week, and primed. Alright, I think these are basically done. I'll have to give this a slightly better sand, but I think all the rest of it's pretty much good to fly, I think. We'll just have to double check the couple of little bits and pieces before we go through and prime. I'll go through and just do it. I need to sand just a wee bit more in there, but I think they're pretty much good to go. I'll have to clear these holes out too, for the hinges a bit more. So I'll do that now while I'm thinking about it. But yeah, pretty much all to go. I've just got to do knock a couple little bits off that other front guard or fender, and then we'll throw that all on up, and then I'll work out what else I'm going to do here. I'm pretty happy with these doors. I'm just going to double check that one a bit more. Yeah, and then I think I'll probably sort that one out to start mudding that front valance, and we'll try and sort out the back guards to get up somewhere to start putting some mud on them too by, shortly. To be honest, if I get that guard finished, I might actually attack this body for a wee while just to get off sanding for a bit, and get some of the shit done on here that I need to get done. Like there's a little bit of welding and whatever, and like make a couple of little patches. We'll see. We might just attack that for the last of the day and whatever, and might just set the stuff up and spread some filler on it, and then you'd attack that maybe for tomorrow morning. Spend 3 or 4 hours on that, and then get them all ready to spray some mud around, especially around the back and the bottoms of the pillars. At least get some mud on that, and I can deal with the rest of it at some other point, if you know what I mean. Texture coat and shit. But if we can get it, just the holes welded up and the bits braced and a couple of little pieces, a couple of little patches sorted and a few things like that, at least then we're on the way with that too. Righty, so I've been sanding this for a while. Oh, I feel like I've had a war today. I'm just absolutely knackered. Basically, I just ate lunch and then carried on sanding. It's about 4 o'clock now, and I just, as much as I'd like to carry on, my frickin' arms are just hanging from sanding. So I think I'm just gonna go home and have a frickin' break for a while. I might come back down here later on. I don't know. Either I might come here about 7 o'clock in the morning and carry on. At least knock this one out, and then I might go and do some welding and whatever on that body. I've kind of had enough for today anyway. Anyway, I'll catch you later on. Cheers. Right, morning guys. So, getting close to the end of this video. I think where I'm going to end this video is I'm going to do all the welding and bits and pieces on this video with the rest of this body, and that'll probably be about it. So I've got to make a couple of little patches around the back, weld up those pieces on the pillars to join that bottom bits in properly. I'll do some finish welding there, and I've got a wee bit of, I've got a few pinholes and some bits and pieces I've got to finish welding, and I've got to weld those braces on, and I've got a few cracks to weld up. Hopefully I can get that all done in a couple of hours-ish. It might be sort of, I'm hoping it's a bit after 7, so I'm hoping that I might get it done before mid-morning anyway, sort of by 10-ish, 11-ish. Yeah, we'll see you when we're done and we'll wrap it up. Righty guys, so I'm going to wrap this video up here. I'm going to try and keep this short. I've tried to make this clip 3 times. I'm just about finished with this body with a little bit of welding and bits and pieces and clean up. Obviously I've got to clean up and around the back, in the back of the body, and then treat it with that 1-step rust converter stuff, spray on stuff. I've got a few little welds to do here in the wheel arch that's behind the camera. Everything else seemed to weld up pretty good. There was a couple little funny holes below that top bead section. Why they ever had holes in there for the convertible top, I do not know. Because they're not on the other side. It's like somebody just put them in there because they could. There's a couple little other holes there I might weld up too. I think they can just re-weld them, to be honest. I re-drill them whenever they put a convertible top on, because just some of them are in weird places, like they've been put in oddball, you know, at some point. But anyway, yeah, we'll call this here. Really appreciate all the new subs and the good regular views. My regular sort of bottom amount of views is probably that 60 to 70 on my regular videos. I really appreciate that. Every now and again I get even some of these ones that I'm doing on the car stuff, I just get a video that goes, I wouldn't say crazy, but it blows way out to the 200s, or 300s or 400s. There's a couple that are there that like that. So if you are watching and you have got to the end and you are one of the regular 60 to 70, that seems to be the sort of the norm, low end norm. Can you please just give me a thumbs up? I would really appreciate it. Just to help push the system. I'm doing this to share my knowledge, and I just love fixing this old stuff. It's what I love doing. Obviously I'm doing it for a job. But yeah, if we can get that rhythm going, I'm really close to monetization. I am so close, it's stupid. And once that happens, I hope to put into better gear. I've been asked numerous times to get a mic, and I have looked, but I don't want to get a cheap, crappy one. I want to get a good one. And they're expensive here in New Zealand. Like a good one of the DJI ones, or those little Rode type ones that I can plug the receiver into my phone, or an action camera or something like that. Quite expensive. You know, they're $600 or $700 here for the starter pack sort of type ones. So yeah, if you can like and share, and especially sub, I would highly appreciate it. If you want to leave me a comment or ask a question or whatever, please do. You know, ask away. I'll try and answer your questions. Like every now and again I'll get a whole heap of questions on some stuff, but the regulars are only a handful. So yeah, I would really appreciate it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video, which will be only in a few minutes for me, or a few seconds, but be a couple of days for you guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers. Much appreciated.